Hello there YouTubes, and welcome to part 2 of the LC rebuild. Right then, very quickly, I don't know if I did it on camera or not, but I gave the balls a quick spin through with a hone. They came up lovely, so I've given them a splash of paint, a bit of the old Simon Eyes engine gloss enamel. What I normally do is I give them a blow over. I'll give them a good clean, a blow over, and just see what needs improving, then rub that down and do a little bit of extra on it. But they come up pretty good. I mean, obviously this isn't going to be a minter, it's going to be a usable bike, so it's not like a show bike, it will get used, so it's not going to be absolutely perfect, it's just got to be pretty good, and it will be pretty good if not better. So as I say, just started painting odds and sods. Obviously a thermostat housing, head cylinders, top crankcase, because the bottom crankcase, as you know, is just alley, so that can stay as it is. Still got to clean the pipes, they are still disgusting, and obviously I need to get around to doing that. But today's job is going to be seeing how much of that we can clean off, and whether the rust pitting has actually gone through any of the case hardening on the gearbox. So I have got a brass brush, and we're going to give that a go, see how it comes up. That's today's job. There is another gear cluster, which is, it's in one of these boxes somewhere, which is an equally horrible state. So let's give that a go and see how we get on. I shall return. Well, that took a while, but it has cleaned up really nicely. I ended up using a stainless brush because the brass brush, it was doing the job, but it wasn't doing it very quickly, so I went to stainless, see how it worked, and it was good. Spent a quite productive hour and a half cleaning the gears up to get the rust off, and I worked from the far end, that end, and I worked forward. When I got to the end of the main shaft, I thought, oh, those teeth look a bit mucky, they don't look very good, so I gave the teeth on the threads a bit of a clean, and they looked a bit knackered. And then when I found the nut and saw that it had been drilled and hammered, I then thought, that's not a good sign. So the nut is on, as you can see. It does nothing. It doesn't even wind off now. Let's see if I can pull it off. Yeah, if you pull it, you can get it off. Can you see in there? And there. Yeah. Knackered. So let's get on eBay and see what we can find. If I can find the shaft bare, that's fine. I can swap the gears and fit new bearings, that's not a problem. But that is an ex-Parrot Norwegian blue. Yeah, it's dead. Oh well, these things happen. Let's get on with it. Right, rest of it's cleaned up. Selector drum, forks, and the lay shaft. As I say, the only thing that is knackered is the threads for the sprocket. Clutch all looks good, everything looks good. So and as I say, the surface rust is cleaned off. So I might just chuck it in the cases and give it a quick whiz over, chuck a bit of oil on it, make sure everything's nice and smooth. Obviously it won't be proper because there's going to be no top case on it, unless I can be bothered to actually bolt it together and put the selector on the end of it, which I probably can't be, but let's just have a look anyway, see how we get on. Well, the gearbox is in, all the selectors are in, and everything's cleaned up nice. Obviously the selector drum is in, and I've spun it through, so we had the right amount of gears, which is nice. But obviously without that thread and without the new shaft, there's nothing more I can do on that. So I'll get on eBay, see what I can find. And we're back. It's a few days later, so obviously paint has all gone off, so now I can see what I've got to play with, so I can give that a bit of a rub down. I've got some more paint. I'm going to go chuck that in the house by the log burner, obviously not on the log burner, otherwise I might come in to find my living room has been redecorated. So I'm going to do that, and then obviously give everything a bit of a flat back, and then we all know that that's going to be rubbed down to show the YPVS logo on the side of it. And obviously give the heads, sorry, that's the head, give the cylinders a blow over. Now I only did a very quick dusting on the inside because you can't see that, but obviously they will be done. A bit of muck on that one, I'll wipe that off in a minute. Oh, they will be done. Thermostat housing, and then we can start seeing about yeah, giving them another coat. I'm going to get the hot air gun out to warm everything up, because it is only about 3 degrees again today, epoxy winter weather in the UK. And then we'll give them a dusting. On other news, the main shaft on the gearbox, I got a tap, sorry, not a tap, I got a die, 18 by 1mm die, and I've run it over. You're not going to be able to see that because this won't focus, and cleaned the threads. I cleaned it cold, and then I thought, do you know what, I wonder what happens if I give it a bit of heat. Not from that, obviously from a blow torch, that's just there from lighting it. I didn't warm it with a lighter. So got the blow lamp on, puts a little bit of discoloration, gave it a good heat, and then ran the dye back over it again, and it took a little bit more metal off, because obviously it had expanded slightly, and the dye was cold and that was hot. Same method, I suppose, in reverse of putting bearings in. So yeah, clean a bit more off. Now the peaks of the threads are missing. Now I have got a nut and a new tab washer, locking washer, coming today from Yambits, I think it's Yambits. I've got a few more bits coming from them as well, and I will try it on there. I'll torque it up. If it takes a full torque, happy days. I'll chuck some red Loctite on it, wang it up with the lock washer, and that should be good to go. If it doesn't, then it's new shaft time. So let's start getting some bits warm, let's start getting the paint warm, and have another fun day in the workshop. As if by magic, here we go. I've got one hand, but new nut and a tab, locking tab washer. Obviously genuine Yamaha, it's not worth messing around, especially when this thread isn't 100%. I don't want any knockoff stuff. So, and that wasn't expensive, only about 12 quid or something for the kit. So let's see if I can find a little tripod. I can't find it in the workshop at the moment, but I'll see if I can find a tripod, and I'll set that up. We'll get the torque wrench out, I'll check the torque setting, and we'll give it a go, and we'll find out one way or another whether that is knackered. Right then, torque wrench is out. This is my shorter 3/8 drive torque wrench with an adapter for the 32mm socket. Normally, obviously, you use a 1/2 inch torque wrench if you've got one, but I want to get a bit more feeling out of the shorter length to get an idea of how it's going on. That's part one. Part two, no, I would never normally grip gears in a metal vise. Obviously I've got soft jaws, but I don't think they're going to give the purchase, so I'm going to see what it feels like. It's not done up too tight. because obviously I don't want to cause any damage to the teeth. That goes without saying, but needs must in this situation. I've tightened the vise up, I've rotated it and tightened it up enough that hopefully it should get a bit of purchase. So torque wrench is set to I think it was 65 newton meters, 47 pound-foot, foot-pound, whichever way you want to term it. Let's see if I can balance this on the crankcases. And there you go, you see that? Let's give it a go, shall we? So let's pop that on. It's going on dry. And let's see what we've got. Do you know what? I'm going to wind this off to, let's wind this off to 30. Let's see what it feels like. Yeah, I don't. 30. That don't feel good, I've got to say. I mean, it's tight. That's not going to go anywhere. But it doesn't feel fantastic. Let's just undo that. Nah, it's quite tight. It's not 47, that was about 30, 35. Let's have a look on the torque wrench. What did I bring that down to? Oh no, actually that was 40. Yeah. But I didn't want to go any more. Threads still look good. And that all still looks good. But obviously, I'm going to give that a go, because I will be using some Loctite on it, and it will. That was tight, but that was 40, and I didn't get a click. It could have gone more, but I didn't want to test it. So there's a little bit of play on that, just a little bit. I'm gonna have a think on that. I'm gonna have a good look at it and a think on that. And obviously if I do fit it, then I will be putting the front sprocket on before I do any other work. The motor can go in the cases, and then I'll torque it up and we'll see what happens, because obviously if this is just loosely apart, well, not loosely apart, you know what I mean, cases torqued together, but nothing else built up, so no clutch, no pickups, you know, flywheel, anything like that, just the case halves bolted together. I haven't even got to drop in the chassis, because I could lock them up if I put the primary drive gear and the clutch basket on, which are nice and easy. I can use the old 2p piece, bit of copper pipe or whatever you've got handy. I've probably got a bent 2p piece kicking around somewhere from the old LC days. Use them to obviously lock the gears together, because they're softer than the steel, and then we'll give it a go at torquing it up. So I'm gonna have a good look at this, get my little magnifier out. In fact, I think somewhere up here. Here we go. I'm gonna have a good look at it. That probably won't work, will it? I can't see if it works on that little screen, but I'm gonna have a good look at it, see what we got, and then if I'm happy enough, we'll whack the cases together and we'll see how we get on. All right, happy days. We're back. I can't remember how much I did since I last hit the button, but crank is sat in place, new seals, checked all the bearings are all good. Gear selector back in, so obviously we can check that we got a gearbox, and we do have a gearbox. Tacho drive, spin the case around. Tacho drive is back in the top case. So I think we're ready to pop these two back together. So I'll dig out my 3-bond, get some 3-bond on the cases, get the cases back together and get them torqued up. And then once that's done, clutch on, primary gear, etc. And then we'll see if we can torque up the sprocket nut, but obviously it's dark outside. I've been out here for hours and hours. It is cold, my fingers are numb, but I just want to get this last bit done before we call it a day for today. Let's see how we get on, fingers crossed. Right, crankcases are together, so obviously the usual things, making sure the crank's free, making sure the gearbox is free, and obviously simple things like making sure the drives are working and what have you. So Simon sent it with a bolt kit, so I fitted obviously those with the washers. There were a couple of washers missing and stuff like that, so I just topped them up with the ones I've got. So happy days. That's enough for today. It is bloody freezing, so I think I'll come back tomorrow, make sure that everything is as it should be, and obviously we'll start on this side of it, and then we can test the main shaft thread and see how we get on. Back tomorrow. I couldn't help it. I thought, well, do you know what, I might as well just start doing a few odds and sods on it, so I'm not going to spin that because I don't want to disturb the cloth. But the little splash plate is in, all the retainers are in underneath the clutch, kickstarter, etc, etc, and that's all buttoned up. So obviously I'm going to leave that for tonight, come out tomorrow, and well, I'll see what the weather's like because I'm a bit cold. Cars are all frozen. Chuck the plates in. Well, I probably won't actually, I'll probably just lock up. Where is it? Look at this. I only found the 2p piece that I used to use when I was building LC motors many years ago. Look at that. Yeah, in the top of my toolbox, my old toolbox. So tomorrow is a new day, and I might actually start a new part tomorrow. I don't know how much I've got on this, so if I start a new part, you'll see a new part. If I don't, then you won't. So anyway, next part will be part 2 of the LC motor rebuild, where I will obviously test the oh, it's such a mess, test the new nut and tab washer on the other side, make sure that torques up, and then it'll be a case of bolting the motor in the frame before it gets too heavy. I'm not going to put the cylinders or anything on it yet, so I'll chuck that in the frame, but I've probably still got a bit of painting to do because I did find the engine mounts and they were manky, as everything else is. I mean, you can obviously see the condition of stuff. It's grim. Yes, obviously the power valves are going to need a bit of work. Those bushes look awful. And obviously the clutch plates are going to need cleaning. Well, everything's going to need cleaning. The part I hate most about putting bikes together. But there you go. Right, anyway, I'm off. I'm going to go cook some dinner, chuck some logs on the fire and have a warm up. Maybe a cheeky little Jack Daniels. Anyway, catch you soon. Cheers all. Take care.